what's the key to the perfect Neapolitan pizza dough? Is it the hydration that you use in your dough? No. Is it the dough mixer that you use to mix your dough? No. Those things don't matter. In this video, we're gonna make the dough that we use week in, week out, and I'm gonna show you exactly why it works every single time. Let's measure out some ingredients and get into it. So what's the ingredients list? We've got flour. Let's talk about flour. I'm a recent convert onto the Grandi Mellini pizza Veracci flour. When you first start out in pizza, I think the biggest brand that you see is Caputo. Fantastic flour, absolutely nothing wrong with them, and it's a really trustworthy and robust flour. It's worth looking around at other flours, and our supplier Rossi International, they stock the Grandi Mellini range, and this Veracci is very similar to the Caputo Sacco Rosso flour, which is this one. And I've used it a few times, and I've found that in the winter, this is so pliable and easy to work, whereas the Caputo is very tight. So it might be worth having a summer flour and a winter flour, but for me, this is the flour we're using today. It's a fantastic flour. If you can give it a go, give it a go, because I've found that it works incredibly well. So we've got our flour. We've obviously got yeast. This is just a dried yeast. I keep this in the fridge. We've got sea salt. We're gonna have water. So let's first of all talk about percentage, hydration percentage. It doesn't matter. I work at about a 63% hydration with our pizza dough. You can go up from that. You can go 70, 80%. You might have seen it on Instagram, TikTok, where they've got all of these, it's pretty much water. Then they're stretching it about. It looks great, but those hydrations can only work when you're highly skilled and you've got a really controlled environment. I could go and make an 80% hydration dough now and work maybe one pizza, but when you're doing 50 pizzas, making pizza at that hydration is going to be really difficult to control and to work. The room for error will also be tiny. You need a really controlled environment when it comes to proving temperature and fermentation. So keep it around 63 or the mid 60s, and you'll have a dough that's going to be really workable and manageable, and it's really robust when it comes to temperature changes as well. It's about -3 outside at the moment, and this dough still works, and it's still stretchy, and it's still really nice to work with. So this is why I would say stick at the mid 60s, and yes, by all means, go and do the 70s, 80s and make a few TikToks and a few Instagram reels. It looks great, and when it works, it's a fantastic pizza. But if you want a trustworthy dough that's gonna show up, stick at your mid 60s. And then the secret ingredient is the dried sourdough. It's the catalyst, it's the elevator. And this is also by Grandi Mellini. This is the bag that it comes in. I think that translates into natural yeast, but it's not a yeast. Don't be fooled. You can't use it as a yeast. Basically what it does is it gives it a flavor, it gives it a color. It does give it a little bit of a yeast boost, but a tiny, tiny amount. I think what they do is take sourdough, dry it, ground it down, and then this is what it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this I found has given the crust a really nice color, and it gives the flavor a bit of a depth as well. So these two together, if you can't get hold of this, don't worry about it, just use flour. But if you are using this, just use 30 grams per kilo of flour that you're mixing, and then take that flour out. So whatever you're using in there, take the flour out, otherwise it will mess with the hydration. So yeah, we're gonna mix these up and start mixing some dough. So the first thing I always do is add the water to the mixer. So in here, we've got 4,538 grams of water. So 4,538, that's all of our water here. What I'm gonna do is add most of it to the mixer and leave a tiny bit back. I'm just gonna leave that much back, and you'll see why in a second. Now for the flour. We've got 7,203 grams of flour. So let's measure that out. I always keep the flour in one of these pots as well. Really good, it's on wheels. and it just keeps the flour nice and fresh. That goes in. Okay, that's the last of the flour. And then we've got our dried sourdough powder, which is 216 grams. And this has got that smell. It's got that tangy sourdough smell, and it translates straight into the dough, trust me. If you can pick it up, try it. So this goes straight in. And then we're gonna mix this until it comes together and then move on to the next stage. So all we've got in there at the moment is flour and water with our dried sourdough. If you haven't got dried sourdough, just flour and water, mix it in, and that's all we need at the moment. So there's no timings on this, just mix it until it's all well incorporated. So this has been mixing for about 60 seconds, and this is that leftover water that we had. And what I'm going to do is just pour this in right at the edge of the mixer to help those dry bits at the edge get incorporated. So you can see here that the sides of the dough, it's starting to come off the sides of the mixer. So what I'm going to do is just check there's no lumpy bits underneath. Now what you can see here, if I pull this back, underneath we've still got dry flour. So I'm going to give the mixer a little hand and just turn that over myself. And these bits here, they're quite dry. So if you don't incorporate these bits, they can go lumpy. It can go to a point where you can't save it. So I like to give the mixer a little bit of a hand and just turn it over. Give it a couple of rotations. Come in this side and do the same, and just help it incorporate that leftover dried flour. You can see here now it's starting to get that pumpkin shape, which is what we want. That's what we're looking for. The side of the bowl is becoming nice and clean. Again, that's a really good sign. Let's have another look underneath. Nice and clean, nice and clean. So what I'll do is give it another 10 seconds and we'll go back to the next stage. Right, so we've mixed our flour and our water and our dried sourdough into the mixer. We've incorporated it. It doesn't matter if it's a shaggy dough at the moment. All we're doing is we're mixing them together and we're making sure that all the flour is incorporated into the water. So what we're doing now is called autolyzing. We're going to take 20 minutes to let that sit and naturally just suck up all of the water. The flour is going to soak up all of the water, and it actually builds gluten without you mixing it. So if you're finding that you're over mixing and your gluten's too strong, you might want to try this step. Just let it sit, no yeast, no salt, and give it 20 minutes to half an hour just to soak it up. And that's already building gluten without me touching it. So while this is happening, I'm going to measure out my salt and my yeast, because we're going to get that in and give it the main mix after this is rested. So our salt content, I think it's about 2.6%, which makes it 187 grams. And then the yeast, we're going to use on our little dodgy looking scales, 5.91 grams. Perfect. Right, so these are ready to go in, and that's the only two things left to go in our dough now. So at the moment we've got our water, our flour, our dried sourdough. We're going to add the yeast after the 20 minutes autolyzing stage. Now you always add the yeast first and let that incorporate into the dough and disperse, because if you add the salt and the yeast together, the salt could wipe out the yeast and kill it. So always add the yeast, let that disperse into the dough nicely, and then towards the end add the salt. We've done 8 minutes so far, so we've got about 10 minutes left, but I'm going to quickly just talk about your mixer. People ask me all the time, what mixer should I get? Do you recommend any sort of brand? No, I don't. And why? Because I started off on a tiny little budget and we managed to get the cheapest mixer we could. It was a big mixer. I think it was about 300 quid. And this was the same actually, about 300 quid. Facebook Marketplace is your friend for stuff like this. Just keep an eye out for the deals. I don't recommend any sort of mixer because all I've ever had is single speed mixers. And my philosophy on it is, it's like a car. Any car is going to get you from A to B. You get a more expensive car, it's got more buttons on it, it's got more functions, but really it's going to get you from A to B. It's the same with a mixer. This mixer is going to mix my dough. The only difference is I know what to look out for with the dough. You could give me any mixer and I could make my dough because I know what I'm looking out for. For example, in the first stage, I knew that I need to just incorporate the flour and the water. In the second stage, there's a few things that you're going to want to look out for that will tell you when your dough is ready. You can have automatic mixers, you can have different speeds on there, and yes, it's another one of those variables that you can add in to making good dough. But I know that this is going to get me from A to B. So yes, single speed, triple speed, you've got buttons, you've got the ones that test the strength of the dough, but really any mixer is going to make good dough. It's just how you sense that it's ready. It's like making sourdough, it's like making anything. It's an art. You will pick up tips that will show you when your dough's ready, and you'll be able to, just by looking at it, just by feeling the dough, you'll know when it's good to go. So, do I recommend any sort of mixer? No. Unless someone wants to give me a brand deal, I won't be recommending any mixers. This one, I don't even know what it is. It's Italianox. Yeah, it does fine. I like the little light on it. The only other important thing you've got to think about is, if I go back to the car analogy, you've got a little hatchback or you've got a people carrier. Hatchback is going to fit less people in there. People carrier, you can fit more people in there. This mixer, I know, because I made the mistake, I know that this mixer will make 45, maximum 50, if I want to try and overflow it. This will make 45 270 gram dough balls. If I had a bigger mixer, which I do, it will make more than that. I could make 60, 70, 80 in one batch. The car analogy I can use again, I've just got to do 2 trips. So I think when you're looking at mixers, the main thing you want to look at is capacity. Is it going to make your average amount of dough in one batch? Because that saves you an hour. If you get a mixer that's too small, you might be doing multiple batches. So the main thing I'd look for with mixers is the capacity of the actual bowl, and everything else on top of that is probably a bonus. Let's get back to the dough. Right, so this has had about 20 minutes of autolyzing, and I'm going to show you what it should look like at this stage. It is pretty cold in here, but after 20 minutes, it should already have done a lot of the work. So this is what we have. We've got a really silky dough already, and it's pretty relaxed. And that's with a minimal amount of mixing. We've hardly mixed this at all. We've just incorporated it, but just letting it sit and autolyze, you already get a lot of gluten building up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix this for another 20 minutes. And the first thing we're going to do is add the yeast. So we're going to press start, add the yeast, and then give it about 15 minutes, add the salt in, and then I'll show you how to look to see if your dough is ready and if it's been mixed enough.
Why you give a green light? It's a red flag. When you stand out, didn't know we fell back. It's always I meant that when I said that. Why you give a green light? It's a red flag. When you stand out, didn't know we fell back. It's always, it's always, it's always.
Don't know how well you can hear me right now, but we're about 5 minutes towards the end of the mix, that 20-minute final mix. And one thing I'm noticing already is that popping sound. If you can hear this popping sound, then it means that the gluten is forming enough of a web to cause air to expand and then explode, or pop, not explode, that's a bit dramatic. So what we've got is a dough that's able to hold air. That's the key. So what I'm going to do, we're about 5 minutes towards the end. I'm just going to lift up the sides and fold it once myself, just to help the mixer make sure that everything is mixed evenly and it's all incorporated. It's definitely all incorporated. I've got a clean bowl as well. So these are the things that I'm looking for. The other thing that we want to look for is a nice stretchy dough. You can see there how stretchy it is. And then if you've heard of the window pane test before, you get a bit of the dough and then you slowly just pull the ball as thin as you can. So that is telling me that the window pane test is good. That's the best test you can do with any dough that you're trying to build gluten up in. So you form that ball and then slowly just stretch that. And if you can see light through it without it tearing, then that's a pass. That dough is ready to go. So what I'm going to do is give it a few more rotations in the mixer and then we'll be good to go. Dough box. Now we don't need anything in here, just as it is. You can put a bit of oil in there if you want, but it's not going to stick if it's like a plastic box. A bit of oil around the edge maybe. You can add oil into your dough, but I don't do it, I keep it simple. So we need to get the dough out of the mixer into the box. So when you're doing this, try and do it as cleanly as possible. Okay, there's our bulk of dough. Sometimes what I like to do is just give it a bit of a shape. What we're looking at here is the completed dough. We've got the window pane test, perfect. It's nice and silky, really smooth, and it's warm as well, so that yeast is going to start working. So I'm just going to shake this with a couple of folds. And then into our box with a lid on. Now this is going to sit overnight until about 8 AM. It's 5 o'clock now. So 15 hours it's going to sit for. 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning I'm going to come and ball it up. So this needs to sit somewhere at room temperature, which is going to be about 18 degrees ideally. And what we should see is it completely relax out and then almost double in size. You don't want any more than that. A third in size would be good as well, but yeah, we just want some yeast activity. And then in the morning, we're going to come and ball up. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and some techniques that you can use when balling up. So we're going to do that next. What I'm going to do in the meantime is get all of the other ingredients prepped for tomorrow. I won't bore you with that today. We'll do that on another video. So I'll see you in the morning. Oh, one top tip. It's so tempting at this point to leave the mixer. Don't do it. Clean the mixer now, because at the moment there's bits of dough in there and they're still pliable. So it's so easy to clean it now. If you let that dough harden in there, it's going to be a nightmare to clean. So always clean the mixer as soon as you made the dough. It makes life so much easier. You don't want to get to the mixer next time you want to use it and there to be hardened dough everywhere, because it's a pain to clean. So clean the mixer straight away after you've used it, and it will make your life a lot easier. Good morning, guys. It is freezing outside, but we're here, we're ready to ball up. So this is our dough. This is what it looks like overnight. I haven't got my proving box in here yet, so I had to take this home and try and nurture it like a child of my own. But I probably did a better job on this actually, because it's done all right. So my kids are great, just in case they watch this down the line at any point. So what I'm going to do is empty this out onto my work surface and start working it. All right, here is our dough. What I'm going to do is just quickly hit that with a tiny bit of olive oil so it doesn't form a skin while I'm working it. What we've got is 45 270 gram dough balls. That is our mission this morning. I normally average out on about 1 ball a minute for some reason. So got our trays, got our dough, got my scales, got my scraper. Get one of these, about £6 from B&Q, but it does the job perfectly. So what I'll do is go down in lines. So I'll pick the width of my dough ball like this, and then go down in a line. And then from here, I can estimate the 270 gram. 270. So once you've got your 270 gram dough ball, there's a few things you can do. You can just make sure it's like a uniform thickness, and then you can work it on the counter by just dragging your fingers underneath. Now you do have control over the outcome of the dough at this point. You're not just making dough balls. The tightness of the dough ball will dictate the outcome as well. So that's another variable that you've got to play with. If it's cold like it is today, I won't tighten them too much because they're going to be tight later on. If it's warm, you can tighten them quite a lot. I found that works quite well. Another way you can do it is with the one hand, you can use the side of your hand to push underneath and then do your side, thumb, side, thumb, side, thumb, side, thumb, and just rotate it like that. And then always make sure to seal underneath, because you will get weak spots in the middle of the pizza when you come to stretch this out. Nice hollow sound. Yeah, these are coming out really well. It feels really good. So I'm going to crack on with these, and then I've got some prep to do. And then I think just for the fun of it, I'll take you along and I'll show you how the dough comes out later on in the pizza oven, in the minuses, and see how easy it is to work. So I'll get this done and then we'll crack on with the rest of the day. I'm all set up, ready to go. And I tell you what, it's a good thing setting up early because people walk past and just put pre-orders in. Look at my rail already. That's crazy. And it's not even 3:15. I start serving at 5. So I just thought I'd get down early, see what the wind was like, because this space, like I've shown you before, I'll show you again, it's so open. We've got this massive open space, and then we're in this car park here. I've put my van as a bit of a windbreak. One gazebo today. I've got the dough in the van just warming up, just trying to get it relaxed a little bit. I've been sat next to it for a while, just talking it down, you know, just getting it to relax. But I've got a couple of hours till service anyway, so loads of time. Really friendly people around here. Yeah, and loads of pizzas ready to go already. So I haven't got much left to do, to be fair. So I'm just making some boxes up. I'm gonna get branded boxes soon, desperate for them. Get the oven lit in a minute, and then get everything out of the igloo, onto the gantry, Don't need the power on at the moment because it's beautiful sunshine. When we're not in the sun, it's freezing, but at the moment, it's not too bad. I'd imagine when the sun goes in, it's going to drop though. It's going to be freezing cold. But it's what it's all about. It's what we sign up for, isn't it? All part of the fun. Yeah, that dough we made yesterday, it's looking good. Just needs to relax a little bit more and we should be good to go. Quick recap, we used 63% hydration, Grandi Mellini Veracci flour with the dried sourdough in there. I think that's 3%. And then we're going to be using Grandi Mellini semolina as well to stretch everything out. So once I've got this all warm, we'll get one made and I'll show you the results of the dough and hopefully sell some pizzas as well. I'd also like to know if any of you guys use anything other than Caputo. Just be interesting because Caputo is the go-to flour and it's a go-to flour for a reason. It's very good, it's reliable. They've done a great job at marketing and branding. It's a fantastic flour, but does anyone else use a different blend or anything other than Caputo? I have heard a couple of other people using different brands, but I'd be really interested to see what you guys use, especially if you're in the States or in other countries. Can you get hold of Caputo there? Or is there another flour that you guys use? Let me know in the comments.
Push until we overflow, that's just how the story goes. Yeah. Push until we overflow, that's just how the story goes. Push until we overflow, that's just how the story goes. Push until we overflow, that's just how the story goes.
Oh man, so we just finished and look at this, all packed up, ready to go, completely flat. Oh, so I'm gonna have to leave all this here tonight. It's one of those things though, there's nothing I can do about it now, so get a lift home and then think about it tomorrow, come and get it. Get the tyre done. I don't have a spare. That's a lesson to me and to anyone else. Make sure you got a spare. It's one of those jobs I never got around to doing because when I bought it, the spare was flat and I was like, oh, I'll get a spare. That'd be a really sensible thing to do because one day I'll need it. Today is that day. I didn't do it. I've only got myself to blame. So I'm going to leave that video here. The Grandi Mellini flour went really well. The dough is amazing. It was freezing, it was around 0, so it was a little bit tighter to stretch, but it was still nice and relaxed. So I'll leave you here and I'll see you on the next one.